Hello and welcome back to the end of another week. I'm out in the garden. We had a really bad storm come through yesterday. The wind was crazy last night. So I was working on this project, which is now on hiatus. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do, but basically we have super clay soil that obviously doesn't drain very well. So what I did over in these beds is I did a technique called double digging, where you dig like 2 feet below the surface and you blend in amendments and compost and all kinds of stuff into the clay to get it better. And over there, things seem to be doing pretty well, mainly because roots of vegetables typically grow in the first like foot or 30 centimeters. So yeah, I did my single dig. So both of these beds have been dug once, so roughly 30 centimeters down. And you can see after a very strong rain, yeah, we just get a lot of soggy soil. I had started putting some compost into this one, which maybe I shouldn't have done. But anyway, it is what it is, and I will just wait for it to dry up and see what I can do. This is the gate to what will be the chicken area, and my idea is to put arches, 3 arches, and then these are going to be the beds for my rhubarb plants. I already have my rhubarb plants, so I was hoping to get them into the ground this weekend. That's not going to happen, obviously. Typically, this water will drain out over about 2 days. So unfortunately, I think for the next couple of days, we're expecting quite a bit of water. So this project might be a next weekend thing. But yeah, so on the arches, I plan to grow beans or peas. And then the rhubarb, when it's mature, will end up basically taking the square meter. But while it's still a little one, it'll go kind of in the middle of these beds, 1 each, and then I'll surround it with strawberries. So that's the idea for that area. My containers started arriving, and I don't really have them in their right spot. But these are great because the water will pool in the bottom. It has a reservoir, but there's a hole, so obviously these will end up draining out, but it'll leave water in the bottom for the plants to use throughout the week or between rains. I'm planning on growing the tomatoes in those, and I have a few more that are coming. Things growing in the garden. We have the carrots, the beets, shallots, onions, garlic. So those are doing pretty well. We have the fava beans over there that are doing well. The parsley is still hanging in there. I kind of tried trimming off some of the yellow stuff and just letting it kind of rot in place. So that's happening. And yeah, I got some solar lights. I'll go ahead and throw a picture in of what they look like. They're actually super, super pretty. They create like these starburst patterns on the path, which I didn't know when I bought them. But that's super cool. And they're replacing these like really old ones that I had. Yeah, out here, nothing much else is happening, but so yesterday, this was probably about out of 10. So yeah, last night we got quite a bit. I try to kind of monitor how much rain we're getting, just for my own sanity and to see if I need to give them water, but everybody's looking good. Inside things are happening too, so let's go and check that out. Okay, so inside we have one fireplace going. These are more of those container things with the reservoirs. This was my like seed and bulb order. So you can see I have my rhubarb plants and I have some like potatoes and stuff in there that I need to start chitting. My room's a mess because I have no storage, but I did start assembling the arches because I really wanted to have that project done this week, but that didn't happen. I also have the potato bags over there, so that's where I plan to grow the potatoes, so those will go out in the garden eventually. As I double dig the in-ground beds, I'm planning on using the dirt the native dirt, to mix with compost to put into the raised containers as well. In the bedroom, so we're kind of staying here on the weekend. So yeah, the bed's a mess. We did get a screen. Unfortunately, it's a manual screen, and we were planning on a automatic screen. So we have a makeshift screen. So we actually watched a movie last night. It was pretty cool. Francis has like the speakers and the projector. So this space is like obviously our bedroom / movie room. Other things, I painted this wall. I don't know actually if that was last week's thing or not. If it was, then sorry, I'm repeating myself, but I had gotten this wall painted, and so Francis got all the baseboards in, and I think it looks really nice. In the bathroom, I also was able to touch up our beam here. So that is happening. The welcome area did not happen because there's actually a lot more prep that needs to happen there. We need to kind of replaster and sand and just fix some holes and stuff before we start painting. So that's happening, but not quite yet. Yeah, Francis did all the baseboards around. Unfortunately, this fireplace is out of commission because we were going to replace some of the, I don't even know what it is, but like these insulation things that go on the door to kind of like keep it airtight. And while Francis had it kind of disassembled, we actually realized that there's a lot of damage to the metal of the doors. So then we tried to find replacement doors, and they don't make replacement doors anymore. So he's actually out in the barn right now to try to salvage the doors that we have. Okay, yeah, so out in the barn, we have the pieces to our fireplace. So there's the glass panels that I will need to clean up. There's the doors, which we can't find anymore. So Francis is basically buffing them clean. And then he started over here. So basically, these like rails he needs to completely recreate because they're like pretty much non-existent anymore. Some of the pieces are worse than others, but yeah. So they don't make these doors anymore apparently. So he cleaned up the doors, and now he's fabricating these new rails. I'll clean glass. But basically when everything's done, this entire middle rail thing will be nice and shiny because it'll basically be brand new. I don't know if he's going to be replacing like pieces like that, but for sure, this kind of stuff needs to get done. So yeah, he's using his nibbler and the sheet metal and fabricating those. And yeah, so he's 1/8 done. Yeah, so he's gonna do all 4 of them. So four on this side, 4 on that side, and then we'll be able to put the doors back on the fireplace. In the kitchen, I've been processing squash because I don't know if anybody remembers, but the summer I planted like a bunch of butternuts and kabochas, and many of them didn't actually mature all the way. So they are now in the, like, they don't conserve well over the winter when they don't get to develop that like really hard skin. So I'm having to process them all into soups and things. Okay, so things coming down the pike are Francis is working on those doors, and in the meantime, the plastic will have to suffice. I may try my hand at doing some plaster. So far, I've been kind of avoiding that, but it's something that I probably can do, so I might do that. But over here, for sure, I need to change out the tape on this beam and then tape that beam there, because those will be brown. And then I'll paint them brown and then just do a touch-up of paint on this beam, because it's hard to tell in the video, but there's actually a bunch of like little imperfections and spots and stuff that we're just gonna paint. I tidied up our little makeshift tool area, and this baguette got painted and will actually end up being the termination for here. So we have to secure that to the wall somehow. But yeah, I'm gonna wait for the garden to dry out, and hopefully these little rhubarb plants will finally have a home. And maybe I did find a corner cabinet that I really like, but I'm not convinced it'll fit in my car, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it or not, but I'm gonna have to figure out some sort of storage solution for my room because it's getting ridiculous. But in the meantime, I think that's it for this week. So thanks for watching, thanks for catching up, and I will see you next week. Have a good one.